After the bombshells, the shockwaves and reaction to Meghan and Harry's tell-all interview has been swift and sometimes vicious.
Did the Black Caps schmooze Dr. Bloomfield in an effort to jump the queue to get vaccines?
And a tug-of-war with police over 30 native trees ends with 8 arrests and no trees standing. Kia ora, good evening. Is the royal family racist? That's the question being asked all over Britain and the world after Harry and Meghan's jaw-dropping interview with Oprah went to air.
And there are many more questions too, like whether the palace takes mental health seriously after allegedly dismissing a suicidal Meghan's plea for help. Europe correspondent Lloyd Burr begins our coverage.
Nonsense, honestly. What a load of race-baiting nonsense.
Britain woke up to the fallout.
This is a 2-hour trash-a-thon.
Some passionately siding with Meghan Markle.
But you should be able to call out actions done by the royal family when they've got it wrong.
Others taking issue with her candid tell-all with Oprah.
What I saw tonight was somebody who was totally unself-aware. I mean, completely unaware of how she sounded.
The news media combed through every minute detail of every bombshell, some siding with the Queen and her powerful institution, with many focusing on the allegations the Duchess made of racism towards baby Archie.
Concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
What? About how dark your baby is going to be?
Potentially, and what that would mean or look like.
Ooh.
Oprah shocked, but it rang true for others watching in Britain.
Everything that Meghan and Harry said really resonated with me. It resonated with me because they were describing my life. They were describing that tightrope that I have to walk every single day when I leave my house.
Exactly which member of the royal family made the racist comments is a mystery, although Harry later told Oprah who it wasn't.
He did not share the identity with me, but he wanted to make sure that I knew, and if I had an opportunity to share it, that it was not his grandmother nor his grandfather.
Commentators now pointing fingers.
It was a conversation that Harry had with a very close member of his family, possibly his father or possibly his brother.
In an institution that is not that far removed from slavery and colonialism, it's not a shock here, there, anywhere that, like, I have friends who date folks of color whose families ask if that's the first question is, like, is the person going to come, is your child going to come out dark?
Do you think the royal family is racist?
Yeah, 100%.
150%.
There's no doubt about it. 100% royal family's racist.
I think there's racism embedded into it as well as sexism, and the way they've treated Meghan, I really don't agree with it.
I think it just needs to be updated and, more in tune with today's society.
Then there was Meghan's claim she was driven to near suicide, but was refused help by palace officials, particularly concerning given the royal family's advocacy for mental health.
You have to prioritise your mental health.
Princess Diana's biographer Andrew Morton, who's done tell-alls with Harry's mother before, was also shocked.
Make no mistake, the fallout from this will shudder down through the generations. Harry is concerned about Meghan, that she would suffer the same fate as his mother. We've forgotten nothing and remembered nothing.
Nothing from the palace yet either, even Prime Minister Boris Johnson steering clear.
I've always had the highest admiration for the Queen and the unifying role that she plays in our country and across the Commonwealth.
The interview won Oprah huge ratings, but the fallout may be bigger still and lasting.
And Lloyd, the fallout from that interview has gone nuclear. Fair assessment?
Yeah, well, I'm sure it will feel like a nuclear fallout within that palace. I mean, the tabloids are yet again having an absolute field day. I mean, the interview only went to air just a few hours ago over here, and despite those allegations already being out there, it still managed to pack a punch. There's been the second wave of outrage as people actually watched that interview and made up their minds and saw it for themselves. And there's been a second wave of outrage in the tabloids as well, with some pretty sensational news stories and headlines. And here's a selection of some of the front pages for you. The Daily Mirror going with the worst royal crisis once in 85 years since the abdication. The Guardian with something similar. This is pretty significant for the Guardian, given they never ever put royal stories on the front page. The Daily Express, it's so sad that it's come to this. And the Times going with the palace is in turmoil over those racist claims. Now, all eyes will be on the palace and how they're going to respond, particularly to those racism claims. And it's understood, the Times is reporting that a statement was ready to be put out that sort of will help ease those tensions, will sort of reach out to Harry and Meghan and give them a bit of support. And Prince William and Prince Charles were okay to give that the green light. But the Queen came in, she hit the brakes and said no, she needs a bit more time to consider what she wants to say and how she wants to say it. But the longer she leaves this, the hungrier the tabloids will get.
Europe correspondent Lloyd Burr, thank you.
Jacinda Ardern has dodged questions over New Zealand's future with the monarchy, but some royal commentators say the interview is seriously damaging and have likened it to Princess Diana's infamous 1995 tell-all with the Panorama programme.
Others are questioning the accuracy of some of the claims. Lisette Raymer has more.
Their royal ease, their royal rifts, and the way they spilt the royal tea.
Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
Wearing the bracelet of Princess Diana, Meghan Markle mirrored her late mother-in-law once more with her own gasp-inducing revelations.
Conversations about how dark his skin might be.
Tell-alls are the royal family's kryptonite.
What?
And the verdict's in. This is the worst yet.
If I was the palace publicist, I would not be sleeping tonight.
Is this worse than Princess Diana's interview with Martin Bashir in 1995? I kind of think it is.
Because this interview alleged racism at the heart of the palace, prompting many, including the Māori Party, to call time on the monarchy.
I mean, I don't know why everyone's so surprised that the Crown's racist.
But the truth of it all is still being tested.
There was a lot of use of the word truth. Obviously, it's the truth as they see it.
Among the headline moments, Meghan revealed she and Harry were secretly married by the Archbishop 3 days before the wedding we all watched.
Just the 3 of us.
But there's a question mark here because the Church of England requires 2 witnesses for a legal marriage. Much was also made of Archie being stripped of his birthright.
They didn't want him to be a prince.
But it's not his birthright. The title is only automatic for the children and grandchildren of the sovereign. Archie can still become a prince if Charles becomes king. And as for Meghan's claims over what that meant for Archie's safety...
He wasn't going to receive security.
Being prince or princess does not equal free protection. Just ask Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie, who pay for their own. And finally...
They weren't willing to tell the truth to protect me and my husband.
Allegations the palace refused to defend the couple have been keenly contested by royal correspondents. One tweeting, the Sussex press team again and again told me things were wrong, forcing the story to be pulled.
I think this is an interview that we'll still be discussing in 10, 20 years' time, much like the famous Diana Panorama programme.
Perhaps by then Jacinda Ardern will be willing to weigh in.
It's really a matter for them.
The Māori Party making it a matter for all of New Zealand.
Gotta rise up, baby, it's a revolution.
It may not be a revolution, but it's sure to be rattling the gates of Buckingham Palace. Lisette Raymer, News Hub.
Yesterday's interview was crammed full of shocking revelations, but there were plenty that never made it into the Oprah special.
CBS released another 20 minutes of this material today, and it's provided even more insight, pulling back the curtain on the inner workings of the royal family and who really runs it. Juliet Speedy reports.
2 things Meghan made very clear about the monarchy. There is the firm, which is the royal family led by the Queen. Then there is the institution, which are the representatives, communication directors and aides that work for the family and who, according to the Sussexes, hold much of the power.
There is almost kind of like a deep state within the monarchy that actually runs the monarchy.
As an example of the institution's influence, Harry spoke about a flight from Canada to the UK when the Queen had personally and warmly invited him and Meghan over the phone to come straight to her house for dinner and to stay the night.
The moment we landed in the UK, I got a message from my private secretary, Fiona, at the time.
Private secretary is sort of like a CEO role in the institution.
Cutting and pasting a message from the Queen's private secretary, basically saying, please pass on to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex that he cannot come to Norfolk. The Queen is busy. She's busy all week.
That disclosure came as a surprise to Oprah, for obvious reasons.
Doesn't the Queen get to do what the Queen wants to do?
No, when you're head of the firm, there is people around you that give you advice.
Okay.
And what has also made me really sad is some of that advice has been really bad.
Harry's comments back up royal stories we've all heard for centuries, both in real life and in fiction, about who really controls and influences the monarchy.
I took the solemn oath to govern the people of my realms.
Harry says it's rare to escape it, and he's lucky he has.
I'm very aware of this, that my brother can't leave that system, but I have.
Does your father think it's a toxic environment or relationship?
No, I think he's had to make peace with it.
Meghan also talked about the breakdown of her own family and claimed her dad, Thomas Markle, lied to her about talking to the tabloids before the wedding.
We called my dad and I asked him, and he said, no, absolutely not.
It later emerged that he had talked to the papers. So Meghan and Harry both now adrift from their families. It's hard to imagine how they'll reconcile. But this interview has cemented their spot in the history books. Juliet Speedy, News Hub.
And 3 has exclusive rights to the full Oprah interview. It will play tonight at 7:30, followed by a News Hub special, Meghan and Harry, after the interview. Also, later in this news hour, we look at New Zealand's reaction to Meghan's revelations about her mental health.